all hell is broken loose in Ducati world, the bike caught fire, like engulfed in flames. Sometimes with these rare bikes, especially Italian bikes, you're kind of the guinea pig.
When you hear the words Italian and motorcycle, what do you think? Be honest. I like to believe that most people fall into two different buckets. On one side are the people who love those words. Oh, Italian? You mean the super fast, super beautiful and exciting motorcycles? These are the fanboys. On the other side are the people who think there are much better options out there. Oh, Italian motorcycles? You mean the super flammable, super expensive bikes that leak oil all the time? I think that both groups have a point. Yeah, I mean, they're super exciting, but they consistently score low on reliability. For example, look at a survey of motorcycles that needed repair within the first 4 years of ownership. Who do you have at the bottom? Ducati. And if you go on an MV Agusta forum and type in electrical issues, you might as well throw away your whole afternoon because there's gonna be a lot. I've owned an Italian bike. The tachometer was so bad that it didn't matter if I was going 60 or if I was going 100, I was going 60. Now hear me out. I don't think Italian makers make bad bikes per se. I actually feel they make quite excellent motorcycles. But let me let you in on a little secret. These bikes are kind of supposed to be unreliable. The world's most well-known motorcycle brands were established in just a handful of countries. You have the home of high-performance, affordable, everyday motorcycles, Japan. The home of purpose-built adventure and off-road motorcycles, Germany and Austria. The home of classic old-school charm, the United Kingdom. The home of highway cruisers and customizable choppers, the United States of America. The home of, can you even call that a motorcycle? Canada. And then you have Italy, the home of road racing and artistry. Racing and artistry are two core pillars of Italian automotive engineering. Think Ferrari, Lamborghini, Lancia, Ducati, MV Agusta, Agustini, Moto Guzzi, the list goes on. And because Italy is so obsessed with horsepowers and checkered flags and beauty and the bright color red, they choose to make vehicles that are more likely to leave you stranded on the side of the road. And if they didn't, they might have ended up like most motorcycle brands in history. Dead. There have been thousands and thousands of motorcycle makers, most of which have never seen the light of day. The brands that did survive had done one thing exceptionally well. BMW and KTM, for example, made a name for themselves by dominating off-road competitions. The BMW R80 GS crushed Dakar rallies back in the 80s. And KTMs have racked up more rally and enduro wins than any other manufacturer in history. These endurance races span hours and even days. These bikes take a serious beating for 2,000 kilometers straight. They not only had to build bikes that were capable, they also had to be incredibly durable. I know I'm gonna get called out because I said BMW, and BMW isn't the most reliable brand, but unlike Ducati, BMW has built some indestructible sons of bitches. The R50, the 60, the 75 will be roaming the earth till 4082. KTMs are durable, but then again, they aren't the most reliable. The trophy for reliability actually goes to Japanese makers like Honda. Honda has a special place in my heart because they created the world's best everyday motorcycles, like the Honda Super Cub. Over 100 million of these babies were produced. And the Honda CB series, which literally stands for city bike. Creating a motorcycle that's going to be used every single day by thousands of people is not easy. These bikes need to be versatile, affordable, dependable, and reliable. Not only should the bike power on every day, it has to handle the elements, rain, heat, snow, it's gotta carry passengers, cargo, and whatever else the city can throw at it. KTM had to be capable and robust, but Honda had to be friendly and dependable. Ducati and MV Agusta, they just had to be interesting. For them, the word reliability isn't even in the dictionary. I checked. For most of history, Italians only spoke 3 words, okay? True story. Those words were racing, performance, arts, pasta. Okay, 4 words. It's Italy, the country with the deepest connection to professional racing and high-performance vehicles. Ducati and MV Agusta built their legacies by setting the fastest lap times. And they built bikes that did that very well. They weren't thinking, oh, I hope this bike is comfortable on the highway and can haul a bunch of stuff and is decent on gas. No, they're thinking, how do we make this thing go stupid fast on perfectly nice roads in the most ideal conditions for about 45 minutes. The making of everyday two-wheelers that were practical and reliable was left to Piaggio, and they became Europe's #1 manufacturer. But they also own Moto Guzzi, so even they wanted a piece of the racing pie. When all you care about is road racing, you get bikes like the Ducati 916. It's exceptionally quick. It won the World Superbike Championship back in the 90s, and it is respectfully a track weapon. But the bike didn't need to be long lasting. I mean, a lap is only a few kilometers long. It didn't need to be tough. Racetracks are pretty well kept. The parts didn't have to last that long. Anything that could have broken was either fixed or swapped before the next race. And you didn't even need to build that many of them. These things are perfect for bike collectors or track day junkies or anyone who only rides maybe a few times a year. But not in the London rain. The electrics aren't that waterproof. Not in Miami traffic, it'll probably overheat. And definitely, absolutely never in the winter. Let's talk about the other things that make Italian motorcycles special. What does a Da Vinci painting and an MV Agusta have in common? They're both art. Okay, I get why the Mona Lisa is art. It was made by an artist, it's cool to look at, and it's worth a lot of money. But the MV Agusta, what makes that art? The same darn things. The MV Agusta, just like art, is created by an artist. Their machines are handcrafted. It's a little bit more special than a Suzuki. It wasn't mass produced through efficient and streamlined manufacturing systems that make bikes reliable. The Moto Guzzi you saw was hand assembled by Tony and Mandello dell'Ario, Italy, where it was made with love and passion. This obsession we have with hand-built vehicles is what is called craftsmanship. It's what dealerships charge you a lot of money for. It gives the bike a more human element, to make it feel more special, more premium, more Italian. It's also more prone to human error. Okay, back to the Mona Lisa and the MV Agusta. What else do these two things have in common? Well, they're both created to be admired for their beauty and emotional effect. MV Agustas definitely make people emotional, especially when they learn how much it costs to get a new clutch. MV Agusta is no longer the racing superstar it used to be. Now it's more about image. It's more about creating bikes that are seducing and mesmerizing. But are they really? Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Smash. Okay, fine. MV Agustas, definitely would buy them a drink. Ducatis, yeah. Moto Guzzi, hell yeah. Aprilias, pretty and interesting things often come with a few drawbacks. They don't like making use of boring old technology that works. It's all about innovation. They don't like using generic, easy to find parts. So working on them is a pain in the ass. But I wouldn't say this if I was selling you an MV Agusta. I would instead say it's like a Da Vinci painting because it's rare. Just like art, Italian bikes for most of history have benefited from scarcity. The harder it is to get your hands on, the more special and exclusive it feels. There are only so many Da Vinci paintings out there. There are only so many MV Agustas. Hondas are like elbows. Everybody's got one. Does that make MV Agusta better? No, it makes it worse. Brands with more cash flow and more production models generally have the resources and the research to produce better products. MV Agusta and Ducati have been cash-poor companies for most of their existence. They have heavily relied on these low production, super exclusive hyper motorcycles. Until now. Let's say you're a diehard Kawasaki guy who wants to dabble in a little bit of Italian. And you happen to get the best Italian bike possible. A real Italian bike, not the German-Italian blend that Ducati's serving up. You get yourself a Moto Guzzi, a good one. Not one built on Monday by a grumpy mechanic. You get a Moto Guzzi built on Thursday. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this bike. It's perfect. That being said, you might still experience some issues down the road because a bike is only as reliable as its owner. In the past, Italian race bikes were built for customers who didn't value reliability. They liked the bikes for the cool factor, and they had other more reliable forms of transportation to rely on. If you're going to go from a Japanese bike to an Italian bike, the hard truth is it's going to require a different level of care. An Italian bike might require more effort. Their parts are a bit harder to find. The fuel is more expensive. The service intervals can be shorter. A Ducati Panigale V4 needs the valves done every 24,000 kilometers. A Yamaha R1, 40. You shouldn't treat a V4 the way you would treat an R1. I don't think Italian brands are as unreliable as they used to be. I mean, Ducati isn't even Ducati. It's Lamborghini, which is Audi, which is Volkswagen, which makes it German. What I think has happened is Japanese brands like Yamaha have built extremely efficient systems that produce solid bikes at scale. It's great for Yamaha, but it might not be so great for Ducati. In order for Italian brands to keep their charm, they sort of have to be somewhat unreliable. They have to be handcrafted, innovative, rare. They have to prioritize performance above all things. And of course, some of their bikes should also be reliable. You know, we all need everyday bikes to get from point A to point B. But in order to keep reminding the rest of the world why they're king, they have to make the weird, the interesting, and the flammable.